As the leader of the Booner Pack, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the f*** up, boys.
It's pumping right now. It's got my juice pumping, boys.
Good morning, everyone. Saturday mornings with Crunch Time Sports. I am your host, Caleb Czarnik. We have Michael Gentry here with us too, but he's fighting some demons right now. Some technical difficulties, some lighting issues, but we're gonna get that. We're gonna get that all fixed. Chat. Number one, thank you all for tuning in. I went out and sat on my porch today. Had a cup of Joe, as you should on a Saturday morning. And let me just say this, chat. It reeks like football outside. 57 degrees. Gorgeous out. It smells like football. So let's have ourselves a day. Not only a day, let's have ourselves a weekend. We got NFL football tomorrow. Obviously, Lions Packers at 4 o'clock. We're going to get into that in a little bit when Michael Gentry joins. But chat, how are we doing today? 50 degrees and pouring, Phil. Come on, where are you at? It's beautiful weather here. Let's see what everybody's saying. I'm seeing they killed Caleb. Where'd I see that? Come on. I'm alive and well. I'm alive and well, nobody. Couldn't be better. Nobody. If a Packers fan is holding you hostage, don't say anything. A Packers fan can never fucking catch me. They can never catch me. Caleb is tied up and being held hostage by the doc. No, but I will say, shout out the doc. But we did a fantasy football draft. And Doc's team is, I'll say I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. But we had football yesterday, and we had football on Thursday. Obviously, Eagles took down the Cowboys 24-20 on Thursday. And then on Friday, or yesterday, Chargers beat the Chiefs in an AFC West matchup. And let me say this to start. We'll start with the Eagles game. Their O-line did not look great. Oh, my.
Caleb.
Look at my boy. Look at my boy.
We are here. Yes, I have.
Look at my boy.
The sun is shining right into my eyes. As you know, still redoing this room, so I'm battling here. I'm battling.
Mike, you look great. It's golden hour. The lighting, you should take a selfie right now.
It's terrible.
You should take a selfie. But, Mike, if you want, how was your trip to Miami? That had to be pretty awesome.
Yes, it definitely was awesome. One of my best friends is getting married soon, so we went down to Miami and celebrated, right? We did lots of activities that are better left off air, but hey, it was a great time. It was great weather. But Caleb, I came home and football is immediately back. So
I was just telling the chat, Mike, I went outside today and just the air. There's something in the air. Football it just smelled like football outside. Now now look, this might be a little tricky considering we're live on air right now. But we do have a couple hours before the game start, the noon slate. Mike, I've never needed a winner so bad in my entire life. No, don't laugh. This is serious stuff.
I'm laughing.
I can't, and I feel like this is a common thing with me. I feel like I said it basically every week on the show last year. I can't win a bet if my life depended on it. So I'm going to need Unc to come through for me. Can that happen?
I might have to get in the lab. I really haven't checked out too much of, the lines on the college slate today, but I do know my Michigan Wolverines are underdogs today at Oklahoma. And I know obviously it's later at night, 7 p.m. game, but that's going to be a good one. And Michigan for plus odds. I know they just have gone down rather. Might have to lay some money on that game.
Mike, we'll actually start with that. It's not on the show sheet, but I do want to talk about this. Bryce Underwood. I'm not a Michigan fan. If you guys know, I'm not a Michigan or Michigan State fan, honestly, and I don't want anybody to take offense to this, but I don't really care. Both fan bases, when it comes to their teams, bother me a little bit. They think both of their teams are the greatest thing since sliced bread. Michigan State hasn't won shit since Kenneth Walker, and Michigan, I'm not a Sharon Moore guy. But Anywho, I was extremely impressed with Bryce Underwood as a freshman quarterback. I know it's New Mexico, whatever. I don't care. It's still college, and I thought he looked absolutely phenomenal in week 1. What were your thoughts on Bryce Underwood in week 1?
Yeah, I mean, the same. It was New Mexico, so like, take it with a grain of salt a little bit, but it's some of the throws that he was making in that game and him being a true freshman out there. And you really didn't see like the nerves come out of him in that game. Like I said, New Mexico, maybe we'll see something different against Oklahoma this week. But for a first game and being a true freshman and making those tight throws, whipping it in there, like he just looked unreal. And I mean, he's only going to continue to keep getting better and better. So week 1, like I said, not the greatest opponent, but I was beyond happy with what I seen from Bryce Underwood.
If they win this game today in Oklahoma, this skyrockets Underwood and Sharon Moore. What are they, 3.5-point dogs or something like that?
Yeah, I believe so. It might even go down to 2.5 now.
If they win this game on the road, and I'll say this, the reason Oklahoma wasn't super successful last year was not because of their defense. Their defense was pretty damn good last year. They just battled some injuries on the offensive side. So if Bryce Underwood can put together a good game against a good Oklahoma defense and win, this skyrockets him. And I'll say this. I think one of the best moves of the whole transfer portal, everything, Justin Haynes, we might be talking in whatever week 12, week 13. We're like, hey, this guy's right outside the Heisman talk or is in it. I think he's that good, especially in a Michigan offense where they really like to run the ball.
Yeah.
If he's going to touch the ball 21, 22 times a game and he's going to rush for 100 yards and score a couple touchdowns, this guy's going to be right in it. I mean, I know, again, I get it. It's New Mexico State. He looked phenomenal in week 1.
Wow, that Michigan spread's 5.5. The last time I seen it was 3.5. So did it go?
Now, when you see things like that, what does that make you think? Does that make you think Michigan is even more scary now, or are you happy to take the more points?
I'd be happy to take the more points, obviously, if I had, already took it. I mean, it going up, I still have confidence in Michigan in this game. So
now, let me ask you this, just from a betting standpoint. Let's say, because you are a Michigan fan, so obviously you're going to take it. What if it was you really liked Baylor or something, and their spread went from +3.5 to +5.5? Do you love it, or does that terrify you? Because for me, it scares the fuck out of me.
Well, I guess it really does depend on the opponent. I guess you could say, if Baylor was playing Oklahoma, I don't know how I'd feel about it, but it
was just a random school, basically any school besides Michigan. If a spread moves that way, are you happy to take the more points, or does it scare you?
I think I'd probably just be happy to take more points. Confident in the pick. If you're confident in the pick beforehand and it moves up, don't let Vegas scare you away. Go with the gut.
They do scare me sometimes, and they do steer me away.
Especially when you're on a run, Caleb, where you're not doing so well. Particularly, you might not be doing so well with college football, whatever. The 2 NFL games that have played so far. Don't let Vegas scare you, Caleb. That's where they're getting you. They know you got them right where they want them.
They do. They have me by the nuts right now. I'm looking at the board and I just have honestly no clue. And then we'll start with it. We'll get into the NFL. I'll say this: if I have any over betters for that Eagles Cowboys game, I'm with you and we can talk. Because that Thunder fucking bullshit, whatever it was, you had to. Well, I get it for the safety of everybody there.
Gotta be safe.
But that screwed the over. They needed a touchdown with 20 minutes left in the football game, and they didn't get it. I was counting my cash, and then the Lightning screwed it. But Mike, let me say this:
could you have possibly shifted some of that blame to CD Lamb or someone else out there rather than the Lightning? Because there was chances to put up points. It just came down tragically. So
yes, CD Lamb. Okay, interesting conversation because he went 7 for 100. There was a point in that game where it was CD Lamb and Dak Prescott versus the Eagles. They really weren't putting the ball anywhere else. Obviously, Javonte Williams scores a couple of goal line touchdowns. He looked pretty good. Maybe we get a Javonte Williams resurgence. I've been a fan of him since UNC, so that'd be cool. But it was CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. That was the worst 7-catch, 100-yard game I have ever seen. Those 3 drops, and okay, maybe you don't call the one down the sideline on that. The ball maybe should have been thrown more towards the sideline than one they had to dive for. We won't even call that a drop. The deep ball that fell right through his hands.
That was the worst one. That was the worst
No,
one.
yes,
it was, Caleb.
The worst one was the one on 3rd down that hit off his fucking face, dude.
In the middle of the field.
Yes.
That was a hospital ball, but it was still bad.
Then why didn't he get cracked after?
He might have died, Caleb, if he caught that ball.
Then why didn't he get cracked after? It wasn't a hospital ball. There's no Ed Reeds anymore in the league, Mike. They don't do that anymore. Catch a football. It's 3rd down. Catch a football.
He just had that feeling. That's what I think about that one. That had him shook because he might have gotten decked if he actually caught that ball.
And not only that,
I think the one, like you said, the deep ball, that was by far the worst one, though. I mean, the one in the middle, say what you want about it. I could see where he thought he was going to get smoked if he caught that ball, but
I don't even think it was that. It hit off his face. He was trying to catch the ball. It hit off his head, his helmet. But
we'll move on.
Not only that, A.J. Brown. He was not even remotely close to being involved in that offense. And this is what I don't get. Okay, yes, I have him on fantasy team, so I had some skin in the game there. But this is just looking at it from a football standpoint. When you have a guy like A.J. Brown, get him the fucking football.
Yeah.
Get him the football. But maybe in the Eagles' defense, and chat, let me know if you agree with this. Mike, you as well. Jalen Hurts had 0 time to throw. That Eagles offensive line did not. Obviously, they lose Landon Dickerson early, but Jordan Mailata got worked on the outside. It felt like I don't think I saw Jalen Hurts throw one ball from inside the pocket.
Yeah. I mean, even when he did have time and he did, drop back and have time in the pocket, he didn't even look A.J. Brown's way anyways. Like, I don't know if you were obviously just watching that. Like, there was a point in the time where I was like, these two really must hate each other because he doesn't even look his way on the side of the field. I don't care if it's Trayvon Diggs on you. Like, it's A.J. Brown. Like, you can feed him the ball. Like, you can get him a look. There's no way A.J. Brown leaves that game with, like, one target like he did. I don't know. That's just, like, inexcusable. I don't know if he's checked out what's going on with the other two or with those two, rather. But, like, that can't continue if the Eagles want to have a good season. I know they went through that last season for a little bit and then, kind of worked it out, I guess you could say. But that's just not something you want to have start from week one if that connection isn't there or those two aren't getting along. That's going to be a disaster for that team.
Well, honestly, it's tough to get a gauge on that game. I don't know if Dallas's defense is actually pretty good or if the Eagles offense is off to a slow start with their new offensive coordinator and everything. Because the Eagles offense was boring, in my opinion. I mean, it was obviously you get a lot of Saquon Barkley. Jalen Hurts is unbelievable, but you have all these other weapons that you could use, and they didn't use them. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, for example. How are you not getting those guys the football more? But I mean, one thing I was really impressed about is Dak Prescott. I thought he looked very, very good.
Looked damn good
in week one against that Eagles defense. I thought he looked really good. I mean, he was playing from outside of the pocket. I thought the throws were all there. I thought he was making big throws. Yeah, there was a couple times he put his tight end or Jake Ferguson in some tough spots, a couple hospital balls. But I thought Dak Prescott looked really good. And I think there's a chance that he could lead the league in passing yards. I think they're going to throw the ball a ton this year.
Yeah. I can't see Javonte Williams or Jadon Blue having too much success running the ball. Obviously, Javonte had 2 touchdowns that game. The run game was meh, but I just can't see them consistently going to that when they have George Pickens and CeeDee Lamb on the outside and Dak's looking the way he did, like you said. He looked phenomenal that game. So I expect CeeDee Lamb to have, last year I want to say he was just under 1,500 yards, and I think he's going to get back to that note this year.
Well, Mike, we'll move on to the next game. Speaking of impressive, Justin Herbert and the Chargers. Herbert looked unreal. The Chiefs had no answer for the Chargers passing attack. And let me say this, and we'll get a little sneak peek to this buy or sell that we're going to do a little bit later. Okay. I'm the biggest Ladd McConkey guy on planet Earth.
You are?
But I love me some Ladd McConkey. I took him in every fantasy league. Well. I think I've said this before. And this was before watching, obviously, week 1, knowing how much they might use a guy like Keenan Allen, which really hurts Ladd McConkey stock. But I don't see a reason why Ladd McConkey can't put up Amon-Ra St. Brown numbers. I don't. If he gets the targets, I don't see why he can't have 110 catches and 1,300 yards.
I mean, even in the game last game, you've seen it. They were throwing everything at Ladd McConkey. They were making sure he was dotted every single play, and he was still finding room out there and making plays. So, no, I believe it. And I do. Even like Keenan Allen coming in and Quentin Johnson, if obviously we don't expect him to, have the game that he had yesterday every single game, but those two certainly will take away from Ladd. But the way Ladd plays and the connection that him and Herbert have is very, very similar to Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown, just the rhythm they have. And yeah, I think Ladd McConkey he's going to be one of the best wide receivers. That combo is going to be one of the best combos in the league for years to come.
Yeah. Does obviously the Chiefs lose Xavier Worthy early? I think it was the third play of the game because Travis Kelce laid him out. But Chiefs offense, what do you think, Mike? Little concerning.
First things first, Mahomes looked like he did some of the plays he was making yesterday, escaping, making time, Mahomes was just unreal yesterday.
Yeah.
But the Xavier Worthy thing, they're going to have to go out and sign another wide receiver until Rashee Rice gets back. But I don't think whatever wide receiver they sign is going to make, that much of an impact. They're deadly. They really badly need Rashee Rice because, I mean, even with Xavier Worthy in there, I still don't think that they'll get the spacing that they really want to with that wide receiver core. And Travis Kelce was a ghost for half of that game. So, I think the Rashee Rice coming back to that team will ultimately make them okay. But I don't know how they're going to get by these first couple, weeks without him.
And another thing too with the Chiefs, it's this has quietly been how they've ran their offense these past couple of years. Obviously, you could do so much with Mahomes. You could basically just say snap the ball to Mahomes, and everybody just like backyard football, basically. But a lot of their offense was predicated and ran off their run game, and they don't have a run game. They didn't have a run game yesterday. I mean, you're bringing in 30-year-old Kareem Hunt, who actually didn't look that bad. And Isaiah Pacheco, they couldn't get their run game going. And so you're basically asking Mahomes to throw the ball to, practice squad guys outside of Hollywood Brown. But yeah, I don't know. I don't, it's hard to kind of get a grasp on what these teams actually are after week 1. If this game is at Arrowhead, who knows what happens? I don't know, but I thought the Chargers looked phenomenal, and I was very impressed by the Cowboys. So,
another thing with the Chargers, just a little side note, I can't believe they didn't run the ball as much as they did. Some of the plays, they kept giving the ball in Justin Herbert's hand, and I don't think it was the wrong decision. I was just surprised by it. And some of the plays that he was making on these, the drop back first down, they're deep in their own zone, he makes a play. He looked, obviously second year under Harbaugh, he's looking different, man. And obviously they've gotten some pieces around him. Maybe Harbaugh's steering the ship right. But if, Justin Herbert can keep that up, I think obviously they'll incorporate the run game more and more with Hampton and Najee Harris once he fully gets healthy again. But Herbert, man, he was cooking yesterday. And he looked looked like the confidence was all there. Maybe he finally, got that right head coach and that right offense under him to where he can, be that top 3 quarterback, whatever it is in the NFL.
Dude, they were throwing the ball on that final drive.
Yeah.
On second down. where they should have just been running the ball. That offense can be scary, and obviously they lose Rashawn Slater for the year. That sucks to lose your right tackle. Or I don't know, left tackle, but Joe Alt looked good yesterday.
Alt was moving people yesterday.
Yeah, he was. He looked good yesterday. And I mean, if they're going to let Herbert go, this offense can be really scary, especially when you could supplement that with your run game with Amarian Hampton and Najee Harris. That could be a really good offense. And I mean, their defense was. I mean, they had some big stops. I mean, Derwin James still flying around the field. Yeah. I mean, Derwin James still flying around the field. So, I mean, that's a huge win for the Chargers.
Big dub.
And I'm honestly happy for him. And Justin Herbert gets to date Madison Beer. So, I mean, and can I say something about this? And I saw this take. I saw this take about the Madison Beer Justin Herbert thing. And I thought this take was 100% correct. Everybody's like, oh, how does Justin Herbert pull Madison Beer? How is that possible? How does Madison Beer pull Justin Herbert? Justin Herbert, I mean, he's the quarterback of an NFL team. He's 6'6". And not only is he the quarterback of an NFL team, one of the most manly things you can do is he's one of the best in the league. What am I missing here? Huh? What am I missing? But anyway, little off track.
And he makes a boatload of money.
Exactly. But little off track.
Yeah.
But
no,
Mike,
it's facts. It was facts. You had to sprinkle that in there. I get it.
The Detroit Lions play football tomorrow.
They do.
2025 season officially kicks off tomorrow at 4:25 against Green Bay Packers. Again, we will be live pregame,
Let's go.
watch party, and postgame tomorrow. So make sure to check that out. Yeah, with the season around the corner, and a lot of honestly, the reason I thought this segment was pretty interesting that we're about to do is obviously you have the stars, you have Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, all these guys, but I think there's a lot of players on this team that are going to dictate the success of the Detroit Lions. So what me and Mike did, we both have a list. The five most important players for the Detroit Lions in 2025. And honestly, me and you might have taken it a little bit different. We do have pretty similar lists, like what I'm looking at right now. But I mean, we just kind of take that as you want. The Lions' most important players in 2025. Mike, we'll start with you.
Let's go.
What you got for us?
All right. Number one, I have one and the only, Jared Goff. I think obviously the offensive coordinator, Ben Johnson, the best in the league at the time. Who knows what he does with Chicago, but I think him leaving, a lot of the pressure goes on to Jared Goff. You can say the new coordinator, whatever, John Morton. Jared Goff is running the offense that he's ran for years now. This is the same offense as last year. They were a top offense. He needs to make sure and steer the ship right so there's no hiccups in that. Number two, this is where we're going to align on this one, but a little bit differently. I'm not confident in Marcus Davenport on opposite of Hutch. So we need Hutch to get right back. It's going to sound crazy, but we need him to be the Hutchinson of last year. He might not be start off as hot, but we need him constantly providing pressure, getting to the quarterback, because there's a question mark on the opposite side. We don't know how much pressure the opposite edge is going to be bringing. And then number three, we have Graham, obviously replacing Frank Ragnow. I think whoever's playing that center position it's going to be tough, and it's going to be a learning curve. But I think Graham he's been bounced around a lot. I think he's kind of like the perfect person to kind of take on this new role, and I think he's going to thrive. But he's going to be my number three. And number four is Terrion Arnold, because last year playing in that cornerback 2 role, we've seen some good things, some bad things, some penalties, whatever it was. But I think he's going to be really important here. And I don't want to say he's going to be the cornerback 1, but I think he needs to take strides towards that and show that, he is right there with DJ Reed, and if not better, and kind of clean up some of the things from last year. And then my number 5 is DJ Reader. He was good last year for us. He wasn't great. But with Aleem being out at the beginning of the year, I think he needs to really show his presence, stop the run. His presence really needs to be known, with you got Tyleek right next to him, a rookie, and then you have Davenport. So him and Hutch are really kind of the only 2, I guess you could say, sure things that are coming on that defensive line. And we know if that defensive line's not getting pressure, no matter how good our secondary, our safeties are, too much time will be a disaster. So I think DJ Reed on the defensive line is going to be my number 5 there, Caleb.
Mike, I like the list. And I'll say this. Hold on, let me find the right one. I mean, I've been losing it with this stuff. There we go. I like the list.
I just got my voice back, so I'm still battling.
I like the DJ Reader pick. You'll see my list in a second. DJ Reader didn't necessarily slip my brain. I thought about him a little bit, but I do like DJ Reader because this defense they've been able to stop the run for the past few years. And obviously with the Ali McNeil injury, DJ Reader is really going to need to step up alongside a rookie and Tyleik Williams. So I like that DJ Reader pick, but I have mine right here.
There's a few that number 5. Well, before you go, sorry. There was a few that I wanted to slot in there for the 4 or 5. It was just, it's tough to evaluate when you're looking at most important in terms of, a lot of different things and whatnot. So there's a lot of guys that you could slot into, I guess you could say 3 to 5, I feel like.
Yeah, I agree. And I have a couple changes here for you. So my top 5 most important players in 2025. Number 1, same as Mike. I'm going Jared Goff, new offensive coordinator, and Johnny Moe. And this is Jared Goff's offense. Jared Goff has led this offense to be top 5 in the NFL over the past couple years. And I mean, I'm sure in those offensive meetings, Jared Goff is incredibly vocal in terms of what this offense is going to look like this year, how similar it is going to be from last year and the past couple years. We're really going to see a big, big leadership role out of Jared Goff this year, and he has to show up on the field. Obviously, he's been very successful these past couple of years, but I mean, if you have bad quarterback play, it's hard to win football games. So I have Jared Goff at number 1. At number 2, honestly, I put Marcus Davenport as the pitcher, but it's whoever the fuck is rushing the passer outside of Marcus Davenport, because obviously you lose out on Zadarius Smith, and I think whoever it is, whether it's Al-Qadim Muhammad, Marcus Davenport, any of these guys, they're under immense pressure to get pressure off the outside opposite of Hayden Hutchinson, because when you watch these defenses and you see these edges just collapse the pocket from both sides, it's impossible to run an offense. So, I mean, my number 2 is basically whoever's going to rush the passer opposite of Hayden Hutchinson. At number 3, honest to God, I think this guy could have been number 1. I went Graham Glasgow, just like Mike did, because you lose Frank Ragnow. Graham Glasgow, a guy that didn't have the greatest season in the world last year, if we're all being honest, getting moved to center and taking over Frank Ragnow's spot in an offense where the run game is incredibly important. And you have to make sure Jared Goff isn't getting pressured from the inside. So Graham Glasgow, number 3. And I'll say this, we're going to get to Christian Mahogany in a second. Graham Glasgow was playing alongside 2 young players, one being a rookie in Tate Ratledge, another one being this guy, my number 4 pick, Christian Mahogany, playing next to Taylor Decker and Graham Glasgow, taking the spot of Kevin Zeitler as the guard. Look, Christian Mahogany, the game he played last year against Minnesota, I think a lot of us were excited to see what he's going to bring to the Detroit Lions in the future. Now we get to see it. Like I said, this offense is predicated on the run game. Christian Mahogany is going to be a huge part of that. So we need to have a good season out of Christian Mahogany. And number 5, Terrion Arnold. We've heard a ton about Terrion Arnold this training camp, saying, Kelvin Shepard saying he could be a CB1. He looks phenomenal. He's locking down this guy. He's locking down this guy. The jump he's going to take is going to be huge this year. Terrion Arnold, I mean, this jump he's going to make this year, I think takes the Detroit Lions offense to the next level, because you have a guy next to him in DJ Reed. You kind of know what you're getting out of DJ Reed. He's one of the best coverage corners in football. Go look at PFF. I think over the past 3 years, DJ Reed has been, 7th or something like that in his coverage grade. So if you could have 2 elite corners like that, your defense is in good shape. So yeah, my top 5: Jared Goff, Marcus Davenport, Graham Glasgow, Christian Mahogany, and Terrion Arnold. So Mike, pretty similar list there, I'd say. Pretty similar lists. But I mean, a guy like Graham, I feel like you have to have on there.
Yeah.
A guy like, Jared Goff, I feel like you have to have at one because, if you like I said, if you have bad quarterback player, it's going to be very difficult to win games.
Yeah. And
oh my God.
Oh boy.
All right.
But we'll postpone this for a second, but we both did have the same thought as far as that Davenport pick. You just picked Davenport because you want someone to show up opposite of Hutch. I picked Hutch because I don't believe someone's going to show up outside of Hutch. But all right, Chad, we had a special guest that just joined the show, so we will bring him in, see what he has to say on this.
Give us a thumbs up. Give us a thumbs up if you're ready. All right. Let him in. My Dukes are up. Look, my Dukes are up. I'm ready for what's ever coming. A little context here. First off, Klotzy, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Okay.
Caleb.
You look great, Klotz. I missed
Thank you.
you.
I appreciate that. I know. I'm excited to see you fellas as well. I can't wait to see you fellas as well.
Little context here. We did a fantasy draft, and every fucking player that got taken, Klotz in the chat, is crying about it. Yes, every player. Oh fuck! What the Caleb? What the fuck? What are you doing, Mike? What are you doing? That's what you did. Everything.
It was a solid 4 players, but
it was a solid two. Okay, and this is the fucking problem. Excuse my French, but the French is gonna be flowing here. Okay,
we swear on this podcast. We don't care.
Michael Gentry, what college do you root for?
I'm a Michigan man.
You would call yourself a Michigan man, okay? And for the chat context, I am sandwiched in our fantasy draft between Caleb and Mike. So one of those guys is picking before me at all times. The audacity, the gall for Michael Gentry to take Emeka Egbuka, the pick before me, as a Michigan man. Multiple running backs on the board, multiple wide receivers, but he said, give me the Buckeye. You fraud. You fraud. How dare you? And then you think that you can just text me like a reasonable man the next day, like nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Basically what Egbuka relayed to me, he said, if you can't beat Michigan, you might as well join them. So he wanted to come.
So you were tampering. You're tampering. You're talking to him before the draft. No. And Czarnik, Caleb, you think you're off the hook, pal?
Caleb?
When what world? What? Do you want Travion Henderson like that? Didn't you already? Who'd you have as your regular running back? The pick before. It was gonna be my fucking flex. This is gonna be the only league I had Travion in. The only league compared to Mr. Caleb over here. I have him in every league. I need him. Let him go once. If you love something, let it go. You don't understand how good Travion Henderson is. You know he's good, but you don't understand it. You were watching live as that man went 60 yards at the end of the first half, like a hot knife through butter, through that Texas Longhorns defense. And you got to take that away from me?
Oh, God.
Let me say this, Klotz. Me, not a Michigan fan, not a Michigan man. Can't you acknowledge my love of ball and my ball knowing taking Travion Henderson? I know how good he's going to be. That's why I took him.
No,
yes, I do.
No.
What do you hold on.
You think you know, but you don't know. You think you have the Magna Carta to this fantasy draft, and I think that you felt very confident, and both of you were on an agenda to piss me off. That's what it was.
Not true. Not true.
It's not true. There was no intent to piss me off. But can I say this, Klotz, regarding the fantasy draft? And chat, I would like to hear your thoughts because look, I love me some Jahmyr Gibbs, right?
Yep.
I laughed my ass off legitimately when you passed a bet on Jamar Chase at 1.
Why?
Because Jamar Chase at 1 is the consensus, Klotzy.
Oh, the consensus, right? Let me riddle me this, Caleb. Since it's such a bad pick. When was the last time a wide receiver in fantasy football has returned, doubled, went back to back at wide receiver 1?
When's the last? Well, hold on, casual take, because why isn't Jamar Chase is different? We haven't seen a receiver like Jamar Chase in a long time.
Okay, so
True or
Jamar
false?
Chase hasn't been playing for the last 5 years?
I would say there's been some separation with Joe Burrow in those years that would lead to him not having back-to-back top fantasy years.
So there has not been back-to-back wide receiver one. So if Jamar Chase returns as wide receiver one, has not happened since Antonio Brown was in Pittsburgh. Okay? Think about all the wide receivers that have been. There's been some elite guys. But let me tell you what. We haven't seen an offensive player of the year in Detroit since that man Barry, folks. Okay? And this is the year of Jameer. So you know what? Cute. Go ahead. Take Jamar Chase. He's going to get his touchdown dropped by T. Higgins, Chase Brown. You know what Jameer's going to be doing? He's going to be taking touchdowns away from Amon-Ra, from J-Mo, from Laporta. Okay, that's Offensive Player of the Year right there, Jahmyr Gibbs, not Jamar Chase. Not take your Marmar. I'll take my Jaja.
Hey,
No, okay.
I will say, I was picking second. Obviously, I got Jamar Chase. If you took Jamar Chase, I was taking Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
I will say.
Go ahead and laugh.
No, but I feel like Jamar Chase is always the consensus at one. And I'll say this: I in another league I did take Gibbs at 2. I love Gibbs. I love Gibbs this year. But who says Jamar Chase can't get 120 catches and win the Triple Crown again? Essentially,
He could. He's not going to be scoring as many points as Jahmyr Gibbs, though. Tell you that much.
Okay, Klotzy, let me ask you this: we are both known Ladd McConkey guys. You stole him from me yesterday. I mean, but that's fine. Whatever. Let me ask you this: from a fantasy aspect, does
I hope you're
Keenan
not
Allen
going to add.
scare you a little bit?
Oh, no.
Justin Herbert was looking Keenan Allen's way quite a bit yesterday in routes that Ladd McConkey, in targets that Ladd McConkey would have had last year. I will say I'm a little bit nervous, and I have Ladd McConkey in every league besides this one, and I'm a little bit nervous.
Be nervous then, I guess. It's Ladd fucking McConkey, dude. He gets open. Like, that's, in my opinion, now being serious here, I think Ladd's just one of those guys that's Amon-Ra St. Brown. That I know he's not, I don't want to call Devontae Smith, but I think he's going to be more productive, where they just get open. I know that they have a tough schedule. They're in the AFC West with McDuffie, with Pat Surtain. But did you see how often the Chargers were throwing the ball last night?
Yeah.
And he still was able, I think he had like 6 catches, 60, 70 yards. So like, well, PPR-wise, it's like 13 points. Like, that's going to be your floor, I think. And not to mention, like, Quentin Johnston's not going to have another game all year with 2 touchdowns. You know what I mean? Like, and they were on the one where Quentin dropped it. I think it was at the beginning of the second half. It was the same play that he scored on the first. Ladd was wide open in the end zone, and Herbert's going to hit that. So I think Ladd's going to be somebody that is going to be top 10 wide receiver in real life. I don't know. He's going to be around that range in fantasy, but he's going to be 100 catch, 1,200, 1,300 yard guy, in my opinion. I like him more than JSN, who people are goobing over in Seattle. And he's got more of a work. What word am I looking for? I think JSN has more targets coming his way, but Ladd's still going to be more productive.
I agree. But with that game, Klotzy, I want to ask you. Obviously, me and Mike talked about it a little bit, but obviously the Chiefs lose Xavier Worthy early.
Yeah, that was brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal. By his own guy, by Kelsey.
Terrible.
They couldn't really get the run game going, and it was kind of just a Mahomes show again.
Yeah.
Any concerns with this Chiefs offense or the Chiefs maybe in general?
I think Patrick Mahomes, that was the best game. If he would have had that last year, that would have been Patrick Mahomes' best game of the season, in the regular season at least. I didn't really like go back and watch the Chiefs during the playoffs. I'm like, Chiefs are going to make the fucking Super Bowl, whatever. Who can upset them? But Patrick Mahomes in that game, especially after he took like 2 or 3 deep shots down the field and couldn't connect. He's like, I'm just going to fucking run the ball. Like, he just took over that game. The thing that did scare me was that Chiefs defense. I not scare me, but if I was a Chiefs fan, that Chiefs defense, it looked old. It looked slow. It looked out of position. I think when you look at Chris Jones at the beginning of that game, he had a weird, awkward fall. I don't know who it was over, but then that whole game, like, I don't recall hearing Chris Jones' name once. And I know as a defensive tackle that sometimes you're like, oh, he's doing his job. No, Chris Jones gets after the quarterback. Quentin Johnson was getting loose. Ladd was getting loose. Like Justin Herbert was running the rock, and they were talking about it before the game that the Chiefs, they've turned into a defensive team. And if you're going to have Rashee Rice suspended for 6 games, Travis Kelce catching 2 balls, you have Kareem Hunt and Isaiah Pacheco in your backfield. Patrick Mahomes is going to find a way to keep you in games, but that defense has got to find a way to kind of suffocate the other team and put them away. And I just don't know if they're going to be capable of that on a consistent basis to get to the Super Bowl like they have been over the last 4 years. Like, I think when you walk in this year and you put that Chiefs defense against Baltimore, I think they're going to struggle more than they have in years past. Buffalo, any of those contenders out of the AFC, not named Kansas City. I mean, they usually clean house against the Chargers, and the Chargers controlled that game for the most part.
Yeah. And kind of like we talked about it a little bit earlier. Like Justin Herbert, we kind of went into that game expecting, Omarion Hampton, Najee Harris to be running the ball a lot. And there was key situations in that game where they just kept the ball in Justin Herbert's hand and were like letting him throw. And you've seen a different type of confidence, I would say, out of Justin Herbert last game. Do you think that's like something that's kind of developed under Jim Harbaugh, or is this kind of just Justin Herbert taking that next step naturally?
I feel like we've seen those probably 2-3 years ago. Do you guys remember? I think it was a Thursday night game. It was Chargers in Pittsburgh, and Justin Herbert was just going crazy. I don't think, and it's not a bad thing. I just think because he is so talented, I don't think we're going to see like a next step talent-wise from Justin Herbert. Like, there's nothing he can't do besides run like Lamar Jackson. But as of last night, you can still see that he can move. But Jim Harbaugh, in year 2 with the 49ers, was taking Alex Smith and those 49ers, and I don't know if Cap was running the ball at that time, but he took him to the Super Bowl. So you just see, I think Jim Harbaugh, especially being a former quarterback, is going to put Justin Herbert in the best position to succeed, whether he's throwing the ball or not. And when you look at, okay, they got Chris Jones, they got a solid front 7, but we're cooking through the air. Like, let Herbert throw the ball. You know what I mean? Because if you're able to put up points, the Chiefs can't keep up because Xavier Worthy's out. The whole conversation we had going back to the offense. But I think Herbert, he's been at this level, but I think he's finally going to have the supporting cast both on the field, but with Harbaugh as well, to kind of just catch up with them. They were talking about in the offseason. He's like, no one needs to step up, or Herbert doesn't need to step up. Everybody else around him does. And I think bringing Keenan back, that's a big part of it too.
Klotz, opening the... Go ahead.
No, on that last play, we brought up Chris Jones. The reason Herbert got so loose on that last play was because of Chris Jones. That final play of the game where he ran like 20 yards and got the first down, that was all on Chris Jones, by the way. Go watch the tape.
Yeah, I think it was, what was it, like the second drive of the game where Chris Jones fell on top of Karlaftis and got hurt?
Is that, that's what I was thinking.
That's what it was. That's what it was. But, Klotz, game 1, Thursday. I think we could take quite a bit away from this game.
I agree. Can
I say one thing, Klotz? Can I say one thing? Eagles' offensive line, obviously they lose Dickerson, I think, early in that game.
Yeah.
But, Herbert didn't throw like one ball in the pocket. I get it. I'm not Herbert. Hurts. And I get it that's Hurts' game. He likes to improvise a little bit. But I was very, very underwhelmed by that Eagles offensive line.
Really?
And that's where they make their money.
Oh, yeah. Offensive line.
I mean, I don't think Mailata won a rep.
Maybe, but at the end of the day, like, okay, let's look at this defensive line for the Cowboys. They got I can never pronounce his name. Ziggy Azul, like their second year today, they just re-signed him. Then you got Kenny Clark, and then you got Donovan Izaraku, and I can't think of who. Like, their edges are nobody. They're me and you out there, Caleb. And James Houston. So
shout out.
I can't believe that's an actual thing. If you're Jalen Hurts, like, I think the offensive line maybe was a little bit shaky for him. But if you're Jalen Hurts, like 1-2, AJ's not open, fucking I'm running. And that's what he was doing. Like, I think if you look at that Philadelphia offense, I'm not walking away like, oh, but they should be worried. Like, no, they were just doing what they needed to do to win the game. They got pretty much the carpet pulled out from under them when Jalen Carter got ejected in that first half. Yes, he's on the defensive side of the ball, but not missing or not having Jalen Carter, if you know you're the better team, the more talented team, Just get through 4 quarters. Don't be trying to light them up. Dallas is already coming in with the fire under their ass with the whole Micah situation. I think offensively, Dallas probably played not yards, not points wise, but as far as efficiency, minus the CD drops, I'm saying more so in that first half. Like, I should just say Dak. Dak looked fucking great. Like, and I know it won't show, but I think if you're Dallas, like offensively, they were doing everything they have. Javonte Williams, 2 touchdowns. It's not never gonna happen again, dude. It's not gonna happen. So I think Dallas really gave their best foot forward, and I think they looked a lot better than I thought they were, but probably for Philly as well. Like, they did not expect Dallas to look that good. And Saquon, like, had a good game, didn't have a Saquon game. I just think it was a 1-4 division rival type of game. Like, even that, like this Sunday, I don't think that Amon-Ra is going to go off. And he really never has gone off against the Packers, but what does he do? He always makes those timely fucking plays. He's going to walk out of there with 65 to 70 yards, but he's going to have 6 catches, and when you need it the most, he's coming through with the touchdown. So I think that's kind of the game that they were having. Dak, they usually light Philly up defensively or offensively, but when you look at Philly, I still think they're the best team in the league. I think to have that much pressure on you, to lose not only your best defensive player, but your just player in general, and Jalen Carter. You got that guard in there that he did struggle. They're going to have to figure that out. Dickerson going down. A.J. Brown caught 1 ball. Devontae Smith had like 15 yards. Saquon didn't go over 100 yards, and you still won the game.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna find ways to win. But Klotz, can you stay for like the next 8 minutes? Because I got to
talk ball in like a month and a half.
I love it.
I'm foaming at the mouth. Like at that halftime show last night. You want to talk about something, that halftime show last night.
I didn't see. I saw people talking about it in the chat. What's that? What was it all about?
Oh, Caleb. Just look up Carol G halftime show on Twitter. And I was quite legitimately like foaming at the mouth, barking at my TV screen last night. It was Brazil. They need to drop a minority team in Brazil now. Now. I will watch every game. Even if it's just a half, I will watch every game. I will buy when I get the money. I will buy season tickets and I will attend every game. You do that at halftime, you got Klotzy's approval for running up an NFL team there. Expand now.
I'm definitely gonna have to tap in. I mean, I saw everybody talking about it in the chat yesterday. I have no clue what they were talking about. I thought it was like bad or something, and I'm like,
insane ass throwing. All just 360. They took the camera, they spun it around the stage. Latinas, man.
Doesn't get much better than that. Latinas in football.
A combination I have never put together. I love Latinas. I love football, but never have I seen Latinas. And it's always Latinas in soccer, and it's like football and a Browns fan tailgating out there, a little overweight. Blue collar wife. That's what I think of. You're able to put Latinas and football together. You're doing something right.
Love it. But Klotz, I'm gonna give you 5 of my hot take. Maybe not hot takes. Some I think you'll agree with.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you 5 of my takes for this NFL season. I want you, Michael Gentry, and you, Lukas Klotz, to buy or sell these takes. These are basically my narratives for the 2025 season. A lot of it, I will say, I hate to go back to fantasy, but a lot of it will say they're on my dynasty football team. So these guys are basically an extended part of my family. And so if you sell on any of these,
it's personal.
I'll be pretty upset. It's personal. So number 1, buy or sell. Trevor Lawrence has a career high in passing yards and touchdowns and leads the Jaguars to a winning record.
You have a lot. You have Gentry. You start, Gentry. We'll go in flow.
Yeah. There's a lot involved in that. I think that's what Lukas was going to say. Like, I think they could possibly win that division. He could possibly have the most passing yards, TDs. I think like one of those could be true, but I don't think they will all be true. So
you're selling it.
I'm gonna sell.
You're telling me you can't. Hold on.
All right,
okay.
There's a lot that goes into this. One, me and Jeff were so high on Trevor Lawrence like 2 years ago, and it's just been.
Well, dude, he has Liam Cohen now.
But
I'll let you guys go.
I know, but hey, I need to see it. I need to see it with Liam Cohen.
Bro, here's the thing.
Let's play the Duval thing. Where is it at?
Yeah.
Don't fucking play it. Do not play it, Mike. Stop.
I'm scrolling to it, Caleb. So
Okay, and Klotz, I'll let you go, but he hasn't had a receiver like BTJ either. Stop, dude. He was just goofing around. He was just goofing around.
Here's okay. I'm gonna be with Mike here. I think that Trevor Lawrence will throw for the most yards. He's gonna have his best statistical year. I think they're gonna be like an 8-9 team. Okay, because I think their offensive line. Where's the improvement? Defensive line solid, but that's the only thing they got going for their defense. And I look over at Houston. I don't think Jacksonville's offensive line is much better than Houston's. And that's not saying much for either. Like, I think both of those teams probably have like bottom 10 offensive lines. I think that running games going to be about similar. Wide receivers goes to Houston. Defense is not even a question, goes to Houston. I think defensively, it just overtakes it. Houston's going to have the best defense in the league, if not Denver. They're going to win that division. And I think that when you look at the Colts and you look at the Titans, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if they split with one of those teams. And when you look at the Colts, they usually give Jacksonville hell early on in the season. Cam Ward, don't know what he is. I just think Jacksonville's like a year away.
Okay, I think that's fair. I think that's fair. Now,
like a 517 games. Maybe they go 9.
You're breaking up on us.
And some offensive line talent, defensive line talent. They'll win the. Hold up.
I think we're losing.
We'll remove you. Give you a thumbs up on your back.
Give us a thumbs up. But look, Liam Cohen. I think he's going to transfer.
Oh no, he's not. He's still a little bit glitchy.
I think Liam Cohen's going to transform that offense. I do.
I hope so, for your sake.
And I'm a Travis Etienne guy. Maybe I'm just a Jaguars fan. I'm just a Jaguars fan.
Travis or Trevor? Why? What is Trevor?
Trevor's on the Panthers. I like Travis. I think Travis could be a good player if he keeps the ball. If that fumble problem goes away, I think he has the ability with a good offensive-minded coach. He could have himself a good year.
They draft his replacement.
That's to be seen.
They're going to be running in between the you can be high on this Jags offense. I was fine with the angle that you were going, and then you said Travis Etienne. I think he's gonna. It's not
okay. I like Tank Bigsby as well. Dude. I like Tank Bigsby as well. I like that running back duo.
I can live with that. It's going to be Bigsby and Toot, and then Travis Etienne's probably going to be traded to like the fucking Saints midway through the season.
Perfect. He'll get 1 million touches, and then it'll be good. All right, number
Move
2.
on with the takes. I like this, Caleb.
Klotz, I think me and you are going to be pretty lockstep on this one. Gentry, we'll see. Buy or sell. Ladd McConkey will be top 5 in the NFL in receiving yards. Plain and simple. Top 5 in the NFL in receiving yards. For reference, last year, I think around 1,200 got you in that top 5. Amon-Ra St. Brown just slipped into that top 5 with around 1,250.
You know what? I'll buy that because I think if he doesn't, he'll be right outside that. I think he'll be either like 6, 7. I think he'll be sniffing around that range. And with what I've seen from Justin Herbert and like what we compared them to earlier, that Goff St. Brown connection that they're almost kind of building, I'll buy that. And like we said, we don't expect Quentin Johnson to keep repeating that performance that he had yesterday. So like Keenan Allen will still make an impact. They obviously will run the ball more, but Ladd McConkey will always be a virtue in that offense. So, yeah, I'll take it. I'll buy that one, kid.
Yep, I'm there as well. I think Ladd McConkey, next Wes Welker. I don't know if Wes has been top 5, but he was there with Gronk, Randy Moss, a ton of dudes that were just taking touches away from him. Ladd's going to be the focal point of that offense. I know they drafted Marion Hampton, but the Chargers last night threw the ball more than I've ever seen that Chargers team throw the ball with Harbaugh there. So Ladd's going to be I honestly, I want to say 6, but I like Ladd, so I'll say top 5.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, I was like, it's going to be.
He was 10th last year.
Just because I put him 6. Like,
in no order, it's going to be Chase. It's going to be Justin Jefferson, Malik Neighbors. If Stafford can stay healthy, no doubt Puka is going to be in there. And then it's kind of like Amon-Ra, Ladd, and then you go to the target share. So I'm going to go Ladd.
Yeah.
He's probably not in there, honestly, now that I think about it. But you know what? We'll keep him in there.
I like Neighbors a lot too.
I do not.
Injury?
A lot of it stems from, and look, I think he's a really talented player. And I've said this to you before, Claude. I think Ladd is going to have a better career than Malik Neighbors, and here's why.
I agree.
They don't, because who's going to be throwing the ball to Malik Neighbors? Russell Wilson for the first 7 weeks, then a rookie Jackson Dart.
I like Russell Wilson with Malik Neighbors though. I'm not for like if I'm a Giants fan, like, oh, we're gonna win games. I have Malik Neighbors in damn near every fantasy league, and I think that dude's gonna go ballistic. Like who else are you throwing the ball to? And he's somebody that I think he plays very similar to AJ Green, where it's just like throw the ball in his vicinity and he's going to come down with it. Now the problem is he's gonna put his body on the line and he's gonna get hurt at some point during the season. But when he's not, he's at least getting 10 to 11 targets a game. They don't have a running game. And so they're just going to try to feed him the ball. And I think even Jackson Dart, man, like I think he's not going to be lighting up Jaden Daniels, CJ Stroud, but I think towards the last stretch of the season, he's going to be efficient. And I think that he's going to be able to be competent enough to be playing one in the SEC, but he played a lot of college football, even at USC, he was there, played around a lot of guys. And I think he's a smart football player as a rookie to be able to, like, you know what? Where am I going with the ball here? Wan'Dale Robinson, Theo Johnson, or Malik Neighbors? And he's going to go to Malik Neighbors.
Okay, yeah, I can respect that. Guys, I got one more here for you. Well, one of them, I will say, Travion Henderson to win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
Claude, Gentry? No. Okay, so who?
I don't know. I like, there's Tetro McMillan. I think he's going to have a good year with Bryce Young. I just don't know with the split backfield in New England that the numbers will be there to prevent offensive play.
This will be no split, Mike. I just told this
not.
yesterday. Ramondre Stevenson's going to be working at Taco Bell by week 4.
I hope so. I mean,
it'll be in New Orleans too, Caleb.
For one of my fantasy team's sake, I would love for this to be true, but I don't know. There's still Ashton Genty out there. There's Tetro McMillan. Like there's, I'm going to sell on this one, Caleb.
Okay. It's because he's a Buckeye and you know that, Mike.
That's where I was going. He would probably say,
if Ibuka wins Offensive Player of the Year somehow, I will be happy because my fantasy team will probably be.
Well, of course you would, you fraud. Yeah. But you know what? I could have had between the two of you picking right before me. I could have had the top 2. I think Travion wins it though. I do. Yeah. I think that offensive line for New England, not elite, but I think it's good. And again, kind of going back to the conversation with the receivers that we were just having, if you're Drake May and you drop back and Stephon Diggs is covered, where are you throwing the ball? Travion Henderson. Yeah. And if you don't throw it to there, you might be throwing it to Hunter Henry, and he's not doing anything after the catch. What are they going to do after that? Hand the ball off to Travion Henderson. I think early on, Ramondre could be like a goal line vulture. But the Patriots, I think, are in a spot where I think they missed the playoffs this year, but I think they're going to be on that bubble, and especially late in the season, bro. Give it to your best player, and it's Travion Henderson.
I agree. Now, this one's pretty.
A cop-out is Matthew Golden. I think that's the guy. I've been very high on Matthew Golden.
I think the Packers found their wide receiver 1.
Mm-hmm. I think he's Garrett Wilson just in a good situation.
Well, speaking of Garrett Wilson, it's funny that you bring him up, Klotzy. The last one I got here for you guys. Garrett Wilson, buy or sell. Garrett Wilson ends the season top 3 in the NFL in catches despite horrible quarterback play. Sell. You just said the same thing about Neighbors. Who the fuck are you throwing the ball to? Who are the Jets going to throw the ball to outside of Garrett Wilson? Did you see the reports out of training camp? The whole passing game is surrounded by Garrett Wilson. He might get 15 targets a game. And even if he catches 8 of them.
Their offense is going to be ran so much differently. Aaron Glenn is going to pound the ground game. I think Garrett Wilson will get his fair share, but he's not going to be up there like that. They're going to be mostly a running team, at least for the foreseeable future.
I agree with that. And I think that let's keep going with Caleb's argument here. Be running the ball. You got to throw the ball. They're going to be down a lot. So who are they going to be throwing the ball to? Garrett Wilson, okay? Who's throwing the football?
But Klotzy, even if he gets 15 targets a game, he's going to catch 8 of them.
Caleb, I don't, or Gentry, one of the two. I don't have my computer by me. Can one of you guys, because it'll take me out of the stream, someone look up for me the most completions Justin Fields has had in an NFL game. Because I can promise you it's under 20. And I think if you're going to be top 3 in receptions, he might be – no, he won't be top 3 in targets because he can't throw the ball enough. If you're going to be top 3 in receptions, you have to have at least a good quarterback with a great offensive coordinator, if not an elite quarterback. Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua, you look CeeDee Lamb even. He's got the own offense, but then look at Dak and look at Justin Fields. Not even close when it comes to arm talent. Like, I think Garrett Wilson, obviously I'm a Buckeyes fan. I think he is an incredible wide receiver that is just stuck. There was a stat that I saw that was like wide receivers that finished top 10 in targets, but top 30 in production. And Garrett Wilson back-to-back years was like one of the only guys to do that. And it's just, he's stuck, man. I hate the fact that he's in New York. I think Chris Olave is the same situation in New Orleans.
So I know they just extended Wilson. That wasn't the Glenn regime that did it, right?
No, that was one of their first moves they did.
Okay. Then never mind. I was going to say, do you think that's a player they look to move on from? Because
no. You don't trade away a player like Garrett Wilson. You get him a quarterback.
Yeah, true. So, also little breaking news here before we wrap this up. Quishon Judkins just signed a NFL contract, so that is. That could be another player that could be in the running.
Good for you.
What do you mean good for me? I don't have him.
Didn't you draft him?
No, not that. Oh, I think I did actually.
You did, because Adam was hyping him up in the chat, acting like he was a
guru. And I'll say this: that's exactly who he was talking about too. That is exactly who he was
Ollie
talking
Gordon.
about.
The Ollie Gordon hype. I'm not going to go too. For the fucking birds, dude. Miami's O-line sucks. Tua's going to be hurt by week 5, and they're just going to be stacking the box, and Ollie Gordon's going to average 2.7 yards per carry.
Yeah, I mean, if he couldn't get it done in college, he's not going to get it done in the NFL. But, Klotzy, I mean, you're always welcome, brother.
You're always welcome.
Before I leave, I have one question. Unc. The John Mateer Show. What happened today, Unc? What happens? 7:30 kickoff after my Buckeyes beat the hell out of Gramblings. Michigan's winning? Okay.
Yeah. I'll see you later. About it. But, Klotz, I just want to get one thing across. Abuka, you let him fall to the 9th round. And your pick before that was none other than George Pickens, who had like 20 yards yesterday.
Yeah, he did. So, because I thought you Neanderthals over there would have been like, you know what? Let's fill out my starting roster first.
I was already.
I was like, you know what? Because I didn't think he was going to be there, honestly. And I was like, I'm high on George Pickens' targets. I think that he hasn't been a touchdown creating machine in the past. I think he has the opportunity to do that on a 1-year deal in Dallas. But to just have the gall to be like, I'm going to take a Buka pick before Klotz here. That's fucked up, dude. That is really messed up. I would say it's disrespectful. I think you have low morals in that situation. It's a Matt Millen type of move as a fantasy owner, in my opinion, doing that in front of a Buckeye fan.
To be fair, my roster was completely filled out.
It was.
So I was going RB wide receiver right there. And then I was looking at the RBs. I already had Bucky Irving, Chuba Hubbard. It's like I got Zay Flowers, Garrett Wilson. I forgot who the other guy was. Oh, Jamar Chase. So you never know. Those Garrett Wilson, Zay Flowers, kind of iffy. Let me get him Emeka Buke. Sure, the wide receiver room up.
Yeah, after that moment, my draft went extremely downhill. I was very shook. I think because I had the first pick, so my next 2 picks were after you. And I took Stephon Diggs and DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
I was rattled, and each pick took me the full length of the clock. Like we had a 2-minute clock. Each time it went down to under 5 seconds. I was rattled.
Dude,
I was mad.
That is a funny back-to-back picks there. And look, maybe Diggs and May have a good connection.
I think they do.
I do like Diggs this year.
I do, but fuck, man. They're on my bench at least.
The DeAndre Swift pick was definitely unlike Lukas. You could tell that he was shook.
And I took Swift before Diggs. I actually liked. I hate DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, I know
Fantasy
you
and
do.
real life, as far as a football player. Probably a
I
good
know.
dude, but
Well, chat, thank you everybody for tuning in. Again, tomorrow, Packers-Lions, we'll be doing pregame, watch party, and postgame here on the Crunch Time Sports channel. Make sure to subscribe, follow us on our socials. Klotzy, again, you're always welcome, brother. Thank you for coming on, but
thank you for having me, boys.
Travion Henderson is mine, and he's going to have a
is
huge
mine.
year. So, again, thank you,
Jameer
everybody,
Gibbs is
for
mine.
tuning in. All right. Well, we could do a 1-for-1 trade. Jameer Gibbs for Travion Henderson. If you want to do that, we'll discuss it.
Same
We'll
thing here.
discuss it. Well, everyone, have a good Saturday. Have a good weekend. A lot of
Go
football
Blue.
on. Thank you all for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe, like the stream, everything. Peace out.
Go Bucks and Mateer, baby.